I love wildlife photography, but I never have time for it. That's the number one thing I hear from wildlife photographers. And honestly, I get it because I've been there. I had a full-time job. Life was getting in the way, always making excuses. I used to say, I'll go this weekend, and the weekend came, and the weather's bad, I'm too tired. Something comes up. Maybe this sounds familiar to you, and if you love wildlife photography, you know how good it feels when you're actually out there, like now that great kids are singing, but somehow you're not just finding the time. This video is for you. I figured that the problem wasn't really about having time, it was about using time well. And once I applied a few key strategies, everything changed and I was able to practice consistently, improve my photography, actually enjoying the process, starting posting consistently on social media, all while working full-time until eventually I went professional. So in this video, I'm sharing 7 practical strategies that help me find the time for wildlife photography even when I thought I had none. Let's get started. This might sound a bit weird, but trust me, schedule photography like an appointment. I know putting hobbies in your agenda can feel strange, but in reality, it's super important because otherwise you will keep pushing it. And there's a big mindset shift that completely changed things for me. Stop saying, I don't have time for wildlife photography, because that's not actually true. What's true is photography isn't a priority yet, and that's okay too. You can choose to make it a priority, but be honest with yourself. That's the first thing. Because if your life depended on you going on a photo session today, I'm pretty sure you'd find the time, right? So it's not about time, it's about choice, and you get to choose. Once I started being honest with myself, saying, okay, wildlife photography is important to me, so I'm choosing to make it a priority. Everything changed. I stopped making excuses and I put it in my agenda. And the moment I started treating photography like a real priority, like I would treat a doctor's appointment or a meeting, time appeared. And the thing here is that you don't need to go out every single day. Even one session a week or one session a month equals real progress. That's the practice that will help you grow as a wildlife photographer. So make the appointment, show up for it, just like you would do for anything else that matters to you. Number 2 is keep your gear ready to go. I cannot stress this enough, but it's a small change that can have a huge impact. I always have my camera bag packed and ready. Inside I have the few things I really need: my usual camera, my lens and binoculars. Also, my batteries are charged and my memory cards have space. And I even keep my hiking boots in my car. The idea here is really simple. You should remove any friction between you and getting out there. Because the moment you think, oh, I need to pack my bag or charge my batteries, or I wonder where my memory card is, that's when the excuses start. And that's when you start thinking, okay, maybe I'll go tomorrow. But when everything's ready, you just grab your gear and go. There's no more wasting time preparing, no more excuses. This might sound obvious, but in reality, this is really common as a mistake for wildlife photographers, and I did the same. So before I started doing this, I would waste so much time wandering aimlessly when I got to a location, especially if it was a new one. Now, before heading out, I always check 4 things. The first one, the location itself. So if it is a new one, I look for info online about it and where to park, because there's nothing worse than arriving somewhere and spending 20 minutes driving around looking for the entrance. I also check weather conditions. Is it going to rain? How windy will it be? Because this helps me decide if I need to bring something else, and also consider if a location is better than another, so I don't waste time. I also check for sunrise and sunset times, because this tells me exactly when and where I need to be if I plan to do some golden hour photography. And finally, really important, check recent bird sightings. So I use eBird or other local birding databases to see what's been spotted recently in the area. And this really means 0 wasted time wandering aimlessly when I finally get outside, because I know exactly where I'm going and what I'm looking for. These 10 minutes of planning can save literally hours in the field. Number 4 is something that I call the 1 hour rule. The thing is that you don't need an entire day to make meaningful progress with your wildlife photography, because one focused and intentional hour can be enough. Think about it. How many times have you told yourself, I'll go when I have a full weekend free, or I'll wait until I can drive to that national park, and then you just never go? But an hour, you have an hour, I'm pretty sure. When can you fit this hour? Before work, after work. When I was working full-time, I did sunrise sessions all the time. Of course, this depends on the season. You could also go on lunch breaks. Even just stepping outside during your work break can give you practice time. Honestly, I loved sunset sessions during spring and summer after my 9-to-5 job. And for example, this photo, I took it at 7 a.m. just before going to work. 1 hour, that's all it took. Now, you might be thinking, Yara, I have an hour after work, but I'm just too tired. And I get it, because I was there too. But here's the secret. You don't need to feel energized to start. You can go out even when you're tired, even when you have zero motivation, because this is a big mindset change. You don't need motivation to actually do things. What happens is that once you're out there, once you see that first bird, once you're in nature, that's when energy comes. Photography doesn't drain your energy when you approach it with joy, when you're not putting pressure on yourself to get the perfect shot, when you're just out there with birds. It actually gives you energy. So if you're tired after work, obviously don't force a 3-hour drive to try to get to an elusive bird you've never seen, but do a joyful 1-hour walk with your camera in a place you know and love. Let it be fun. Strategy number 5 is pretty connected, and it's all about practicing close to home. Because if time is limited and there's a lot on your plate, there's really no point in wasting it driving for hours. So that was also a strategy that I personally implemented. I started to focus on locations extremely close to where I live. This can mean for you backyard photography, nearby parks, or even urban spots. And now I can tell you that I've been doing wildlife photography for 6 years, and 95% of my photography happens in places close to home. Yes, I did occasional trips to photograph new species and visit new places, but the places where I really grew, those were places close to home with my common birds, because that's where you're building skills, learning your local birds, understanding how light works, all without the travel time. So stop wasting time driving to perfect locations or waiting for that safari in Africa or a flight to Costa Rica. The other strategy is to combine photography with daily life. Yes, I know you're really busy and maybe you don't have that hour, but photography doesn't need a separate time slot if you integrate it in what you're already doing. So, for example, take your camera on walks. Your morning coffee can become bird observation time. Going on holiday with your family, well, bring your camera. For example, this photo, I took it while walking from my house to visit my grandma. I had my camera with me, I saw this opportunity and captured it. So this way, even when you're not dedicating specific photography time, you're still practicing, you're still getting better, and it becomes sustainable. Now, I want to be honest, of course, having dedicated time is ideal, but remember, something is always better than nothing. And these small moments, they're what keep you connected to photography when life gets crazy. And we all have those periods. The final strategy is to use your downtime, because photography in reality isn't just filled time, guys. So what do you do on those days when you can't shoot? Maybe the weather's terrible, maybe you're not feeling well, maybe life just doesn't allow it. Use that off time for other photography related activities. These fall into two big buckets. The first one is editing. Use the time to edit your photos. You guys, you need to make the most out of this time, otherwise photos will just pile up, and I see that thousands of photos you still need to cull. So I know editing is a huge time consumer, so let me know if you like a video only about time-saving strategies for editing, because I'll make it if it's interesting for you. The second big bucket is learning. You can read about bird behavior, bird biology, you can learn photography techniques, you can read a photo book, you can watch YouTube videos, especially the ones from this channel. No, I'm joking. Every wildlife photography video will definitely work, because this way, even when you're not out with your camera, you're getting better. And that compounds your field time results, because when you do get out there, you're better prepared, you know more, and you shoot with more intention. So learning during downtime is still progress, don't discount it. So here we are, 7 strategies that can help you find time for wildlife photography even when you think you have none. Let me recap quickly. Schedule it like an appointment, keep your gear ready, plan ahead, use the 1-hour rule, practice close to home, combine it with daily life, and use your downtime. And this is the big mindset shift I want you to remember after this video. You have more time than you think, and a few smart changes make all the difference. You don't need to overhaul your entire life, you just need to make small intentional adjustments. And you know, when life really gets crazy, something that really helps me is to try to remember why I started photography. So ask yourself, why did you start wildlife photography? That feeling when you're actually out there, when you see that bird, when you're fully present in nature, when everything else fades away, that feeling is why this matters, and this is why you want to make photography a priority. And it always feels worth it when you're out, even if you're tired. So stop letting barriers, may them be external or internal, keep you from that feeling of joy, because you deserve it. And one last thing, really important, is that when you don't follow through, when you plan to go shoot and you didn't, please don't beat yourself up. Don't think, oh, I'm lazy, I'm bad at this, I will never improve my wildlife photography. You just need to find a strategy that works for you. So now I have a small challenge for you. Pick 2 or 3 of these strategies and try them this week. Just pick the ones that resonate most with your situation right now and let me know in the comments. And if you found this helpful, give it a thumbs up and subscribe, because I share practical wildlife photography tips beyond gear like this one every week. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.